It's just a part of life. But failure isn't failure unless you actually stop
Right.
or if you don't try. So it really is like the type of person that you want to become. And this business is a really good way of putting that flashlight of what person do you want to be? Do you want to be
Yeah.
who embraces failure and be able to see the other side? Or are you someone who's going to let doubt really sink in? Or are you going to be let doubt and fear hold you back?
Right.
Because the way you do one thing is how you do everything. Welcome to the Breakthrough and Conquered podcast, the show where we'll break free of old patterns and generation curses that have held us back for far too long. I'm your host, Claudia Garcia, and in this space, you will gain the tools and resources to help you have a life-changing transformation. Together, we'll learn how to think, act, and become the top 1% by conquering limited beliefs, boost productivity, and know exactly what it takes to live out your dream life. I will even unlock the secrets of high-ticket affiliate marketing to help you make this all possible. So today I have a very special guest. It's someone I've known in the community for at least the past 3 years, but we've finally connected in person here in Bali. And let me introduce you to Myrah.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Yeah. So thank you so much for hopping on the call, or
Yes.
not the call, the podcast. Yeah.
We're so used to saying
Yeah. We're so used to saying the podcast, but now we're in Bali. We're having a little vacation here and we decided let's do a podcast episode. So I definitely want to let you guys know Myrah's background because she is so knowledgeable about the actual product that we work with in this business. So you will get the juicy details about everything about our high ticket affiliate marketing business, from the compensation plan to the products to really what it takes to be able to travel and be in Bali like how we are today. But let's go from step one. So how did you even get into this business in the first place?
Yeah. So I knew, or I should say, I always knew I was meant to do something more. And I couldn't do that where I was just in my jobs. And going back to, let me start from the very beginning. I was married before and I was with somebody who's not very supportive. So because of that, and I even tried something like low ticket, and we can go into that language of low ticket later on and what that means. But I even tried to do that, and it was just very hard to be supportive. And so I was just like, okay, well, I guess I'm not good enough. I was told no, you have to work to make money, and you have to go into a job. You have to do all the things that we're told we have to do. So then I just felt like, okay, I'm not just not good enough, not worthy enough. I'm not cool enough. I'm not pretty enough. All those things kind of drug in. So let's fast forward. So after all of that marriage, getting out of that marriage, and then trying to regain self-worth a little bit, I finally found this business again. And then but it was kind of a cool story because I was chatting with somebody and this girl, she just kept popping up on my feed, which we all see when we scroll, right? We're scrolling. We see all these cool things. So I was like, man, I really want her life. How can I get that? And then, of course, self-doubt popped in my head because of previous past relationships, and basically that attackment on your mind just kind of forced me back in. And I was like, no, I can't do this. I'm just not cool enough. I'm not good enough. I don't think I can do it. I don't think anybody would like me, that kind of stuff. And then 2 years went by. And of course, a lot of this had to do with my health too. I actually tried to, I was pretty sick. So I wanted to not take a lot of medications. So I found this product, and it was a medical grade product. But in the process of that, I also found this business, which was the same thing. So I kind of went back into it 2 years later after me finding this, and then 2 years later finding it again, but tying the two and two together. I was like, just, wow, I got to do it.
Yeah. Okay. I'd love to touch on everything that you did.
Yeah.
Said right now. So if it's okay with you, I'd love to talk about that past relationship a little bit. So I really believe that sometimes our battles were put into place to help you get a redirection.
Right.
So when you were in that relationship and it wasn't very healthy. Like, how did you go from realizing that it's not healthy and to the point where you're like, I need to get out?
Yeah, exactly. And mine's a little bit different. Mine was more of an abusive marriage. So,
Mm.
you know that saying, like when people are like, you need to leave, you need to leave. Well, it's actually a lot harder
Yeah.
than people realize for somebody to just leave a situation because you already feel stuck and you're not sure how the outcome's going to be, or you feel like because of the stuff being said, like, I can't provide for myself, you need me,
Mm.
that type stuff. So whenever I finally was just like, okay, that's enough, I realized and remembered, no, my family is here. My friends are here. I can do this. So I got
Yeah.
out, but it took me a little bit to really get past. I had to do a lot of inner work
Yeah.
to really make myself believe in myself again and be like, I am worthy. I am beautiful. I am cool. People
Yeah.
like me,
Yeah.
when instead of feeling like so isolated and
Mm.
everything like that.
Yeah. No, and that's really big of you. That's definitely so hard to get
Mhm.
out of a situation like that, but really big of you to actually do something about it and really lean on your friends and your
Mhm.
family for support. And during this time, is that when you were doing the low ticket stuff?
Yes. Mhm.
Wow. So what was that like?
Yeah, so it was hard because I felt like I had mentioned, I wanted to do more. I didn't want to just continue being in the healthcare industry. And I felt like I needed to make more money. And maybe that was because I felt like my finances were being controlled. So I was like, what if I do this?
Yeah.
But I had to hustle a lot and I had to make a lot of sales just to make maybe like it's about 100 sales just to make like maybe $5,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
And was that something that was just like attainable to make
No.
those 100 sales?
No, because you always had to, it was a lot of cold calling. You had to like message random people. I didn't really know who to message. And it was a lot of go ask your friends and family, they'll buy from you.
Hmm.
And I'm like, that's a sticky situation because, yes, your family is here, obviously supportive, but you only have so many family members and you only have so many friends.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
So, how can you make that much and keep it sustainable by always reaching out, always messaging people, and being like that, pick me, like,
Yeah.
buy for me, and like that. Almost that salesy energy that people don't like.
Yeah.
Almost. You have different energies in sales.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. And just for anybody who is listening and doesn't know what low ticket means, low ticket just means you're helping market a product that really is not cost effective, but you also get low commissions. Where the business that we're in, we have a high ticket affiliate marketing business. So the medical grade products are a little more, have a higher value, but we also do get a high commission pay out. So when you were doing low ticket, like how long were you doing that for?
Probably about a year.
A year?
Mhm.
Okay.
Maybe less, honestly, now that I think about it.
Yeah. And do you feel like the low ticket opportunity, because that's a long time to be
Yeah.
doing that for a year, what do you feel like held back the most from seeing the success that you wanted in your low ticket business?
The support. I think the
Mm.
big one was the support from my ex-husband and trying to be like, "No, I wanna do this," but he was just like, "I don't think you need to do this, like, it's a
Oh,
scam,
okay.
like, don't do this," and
Yeah.
even though I had some income coming in from it, it wasn't as much as I suspected, but I think it's because I started to not believe in myself enough, so therefore I didn't see any, like, little success, like, from
Yeah.
what you can get off of a low ticket.
Yeah. No, and that support is huge because
Mhm.
I kind of talked about this with my own story where like JP thought our business was a scam, but the difference is that he's still supportive of what the decisions I make, you know?
Right.
So how do you see the actual difference of working with a low ticket and a high ticket? Like, because a lot of people think what we do is like an MLM, and that's typically more
Mhm.
of the low ticket businesses out there. But like, since you've been in the game for both areas, how is it different?
Oh yeah, I extremely different. And I can go off of kind of a scenario of money wise. But yeah, so with the low ticket, I was like having to make 100 sales just to make like $5,000 to where now being in this industry and this company business, you can make one sale and make $5,000 off one sale. And speaking of the MLM, yeah, we're direct and indirect. So you're always moving across. And with an MLMs, you're down at the bottom. So, you're always trying to, the person at the top is always making the money and you're trying to go up. But if you don't make enough, you go back down. But with us, we never derank. We're just indirect sales.
Yeah, for sure. I've never done any other business except for this one. So I kind of got really lucky in that case. But from my understanding is when you work with a low ticket business or another an MLM opportunity, there is deranking. You have quotas to meet. And if you don't meet those quotas, you have to pay for your ranking. There's none of that in this business. And I'm so grateful that we found that. The other thing that I thought was really interesting is we don't have to bug our friends and family about it to make those sales. And there's no inventory on top of that. And what I really like about this opportunity compared to a lot of opportunities that are low ticket is we don't have to recruit people if we don't want to.
Exactly.
With a lot of other opportunities, they actually get a commission from your recruitment and on top of the products that you're selling. And with this business, with high ticket affiliate marketing, we have our affiliate link.
Mm-hmm.
And then that affiliate link, we get the commission because somebody has purchased a product. We don't get money from recruiting people. So making a big team is not mandatory to be successful in this business.
Okay.
And then so I'd love to touch base also about your mindset because one, it takes balls.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of balls to get out of a situation that you definitely were not supported in. But how would you help somebody who is maybe in that scenario right now to help them direct them to something maybe a little bit more healthier or maybe more aligned to them?
Yeah.
And relationship wise first and then business wise.
Yeah. Yeah, I think relationship wise too. I mean, every situation is a little bit different. So definitely surround yourself with good friends that you can chat with. And maybe I would say good friends and family, but then sometimes I had to learn their opinion. If you want to ask somebody what their opinion is, you better expect to get an opinion that you probably aren't expecting. That's not what you want. But I do say, if you're feeling, stuck in that situation, just write about it. Journal yourself, but try not to isolate yourself either. Really try to get, I don't even think if it's therapy or if I'm going on the right topic of what you're trying to ask. But you can even chat with somebody, whether that's privately instead of friends and family. Just go out and actually chat with people so that you can have somebody maybe you don't know too that can relate to you on the level that you're wanting to. Instead of getting those opinions from maybe family members that are a little more set in stone at times. But that would be, relationship wise. And journal about it. Write down your thoughts so you don't isolate yourself too much to where you're always thinking you're not good enough. Because you are. And that's where I was. I just felt like I wasn't. So I really had to work on that relationship wise to get those thoughts out of my head that were said to me. Yeah. And business wise, it all kind of ties in together too, because you are smart. You are smart enough. You're cool enough. You don't have to have a huge following. And I know a lot of people worry about that business wise. So it's a huge shift. Yeah. Because we're talking about mindset. Yeah. And everything. So I really had to just do that inner work. And when joining the business, stick with a community that's going to just continue to lift you up. And I didn't realize how powerful a community is, especially with the ones that have gone through what we're going through and just being able to hear them, listen to other podcasts, listen to this podcast, we listen to a lot of podcasts, we journal, we write, we meditate, we just try to get in our own thoughts just so we can be no, we are good enough. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And business-wise, relationship-wise, I think they do go hand in hand, mainly because your environment is key. So if your relationship is going down the drain, it's really hard to thrive in life because that's what your mind is going. Or maybe your careers are amazing, but your relationship's bringing you down. You're going to still feel that that tension in your life. That stress. Yeah, definitely. So I think that's why you really should surround yourself with
people who think very similar to you.
Mhm.
And like, I love when you said, don't isolate yourself,
Mhm.
because I think that's even natural in business,
Oh,
because
yeah.
entrepreneurship can be very lonely.
Very.
And I know I feel that all the time, where I just
Yeah.
feel like I could figure things out on my own. But leaning on that support with people who are like-minded, or people who have gone through the same situation that you
Yes.
have and have become on the other side, is so crucial.
Mhm.
I think, what's the statistic that they say, like, you're 1 out of 5 of
Oh, yeah.
people that you hang out with?
I think, yeah, 1 out of 5. Yep, that's usually what it is.
Yeah. So if one of the biggest things that I tell people to like look at is look at your circle.
Yeah.
Is your circle someone who empowers you, or is someone who is keeping you very stagnant? And it's okay to outgrow people.
Mhm.
But so when you touched based on a little bit about the business
Yeah.
and how it's helped you. So like,
Oh,
because of the work that you've been doing, inner work and obviously the outer work, how has that affected your business so far?
yeah, I think it's affected me on being more calm in situations too. I think that's used in business wise. Being okay with failing.
Yeah.
Because before, like, if you failed, like, oh, so bad, like, you don't want to fail. But it's helped me a lot to know, like, failing's good. You fail
Yeah.
forward. And guess what? You're learning and you're growing and you're doing stuff every single day. Like, I'm still learning things every single day,
Yeah.
especially as an entrepreneurship. And it's helped me get out of my little bubble of non-worthiness. And it's also helped me be able to speak better to people. Because
Yeah.
before, some people are like, well, I don't really want to talk to people. Well, it's also, I mean, sales, let's be honest. I mean, it is, but it's a different type of sales. And you
Yeah.
get to be able to learn how to talk
Yeah.
and being okay with talking and leading and leadership. That's also a big one that it's taught me to basically, and this business has guided me into the woman that I'm truly meant to be and finding myself again in the process.
Oh, I love that. And it's true. The faster you fail, the faster you'll see the success. And I think people are so scared to fail in the first place. And with that being said, I think it's so beautiful that like through this journey, we learn to embrace failure. Hey, we had a failure moment a few minutes ago. We recorded this podcast from start to
Very nice.
ending, and we had technical issues. It's just a part of life. But failure isn't failure unless you actually stop,
Right.
or if you don't try. So it really is like the type of person that you want to become. And this business is a really good way of putting that flashlight of what person do you want to be? Do you want to be
Yeah.
who embraces failure and be able to see the other side? Or are you someone who's going to let doubt really sink in? Or are you going to be let doubt and fear hold you back?
Right.
Because the way you do one thing is how you do everything.
Right.
And the people who really see the success in this business embrace that failure.
Yeah. And like, let me tell you, just based off experience of letting that doubt and fear creep in, I mean, it held me back from joining this business. So I just look back and I'm like, can you imagine where I would have been, how much more I would have been able to see and do and live if I didn't let that happen?
Yeah.
If I would have started way earlier when I knew I already wanted to.
Yeah. And when you got introduced to this opportunity, how long did it take you to actually take that leap of faith to jump into your business?
Yeah, over 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
2 years.
So that's why I say I was like, oh, if I look back, I mean, obviously I've been in this business for a little over 4 years now, but if I could have been in it a little over 6 years, you know,
Yeah.
think about it.
Yeah. And what do you think helped you make that jump? Like, what was going on in your life that you're like, you know what? I finally have the courage to say yes to this opportunity.
Yeah. And I think it was, you know, who you're with too. And who I'm with now and my significant other now is very supportive. And it was so different. So I think that played a lot of role, or like a lot of, what am I trying to say? It helped a lot.
Yeah.
Let's put it in simpler terms instead of making big words here. But yeah, it really helped me, even though we were together when I did find this business, my current partner now. But still, I mean, I felt like I still wasn't good enough. But then when I found it again, a little over 2 years later, I was just like, I'm gonna do it. And he's like, you should do it.
Yeah.
I'm like, really? Okay.
Yeah.
You
I could
know?
totally see Jared being like, you should do it.
Just do it. And because
Yeah.
he was also looking, and he was like, what? Because he was just like looking at the numbers and looking at how it works. And he's like
Yeah.
a number guy. He's very smart in like math and business and everything like that. And he's like, dang, I've never seen anything like this. I'm like,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. And it's funny because when you say that you had these limited beliefs, like
Mhm.
like, how did you overcome that challenge? Because I think everybody will experience it. I still experience it to this day,
Yeah.
but we kind of know how to maneuver it instead of letting us hold us back.
Yeah.
Like, how did you become from feeling unworthy to finally being like, no, this is something that I'm deserving of?
Yeah, I had a going back a little bit and with like business and relationship too. I journaled a lot. I did, and I just kind of got an accountability partner. I felt like that really helped as well. Just like a friend of mine that I had, because she also had like a really good like do what makes you happy kind of vibe, even though
Yeah.
she's not in the business. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of helped guide me to it. But yeah, I had to journal a lot. I had to get like sit with myself in prayer and be like, God, like what is this gonna do? And everything like that. So I just really
Yeah.
had to pray about it too and just kind of really work through it
Yeah.
mentally and be I mean, you're gonna get to the point to where you're still gonna feel like, nothing's working. Or like
Yeah.
still not feeling like you're there, but that's gonna come up
Yeah.
and down with entrepreneurship. Like it will. But you just have to know, like, and believe in yourself that this is gonna be okay.
Yeah. And the whole point of the tools like journaling, meditating, like breath work,
Mhm.
affirmations, whatever, or sometimes even just reading the Bible. Those tools are to really help you reframe your brain because the brain doesn't really know what's true and what's not true. So
Right.
you really do have the power to change your reality the moment you change your thoughts. And what are some ways of like some social proof?
Yeah.
Because like you mentioned, like you're gonna still have those times of like, is this even working? But when was like a moment where you're like, okay, this is social proof that it's working, the business is being successful, and
Hmm.
you're starting to have like that mindset switch.
Yeah. And I think we may have chatted about this previously, but and I think this is because it was recent too, but not as recent. But some of my nephews, we were just chatting one day and they're like, oh, because they're homeschooled. They're just like, oh, I don't understand this. I'm just not smart enough. And I'm like, no, you are smart.
Yeah.
You're so smart. Like you are doing like eighth grade work in like a sixth grade level. Like,
Oh,
I had to remind him,
yeah.
like, he's doing way more than what the levels of other people are. When
Yeah.
before, I would have been like, I know, buddy, I sucked at that too. Like, I'm not, I wasn't, I was never smart at that. But then going back and forth with those, now I'm like trying to reframe his brain in a way, being
Yeah.
like, no, you are smart. Just think about it this way instead of before. I'd been like, yeah, I know, I understand. And like trying to be on his level. No, but
Yeah.
lifting him up. I think that's helped a lot.
Oh, I
Like with
love
family,
that.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I absolutely love that because they, again, you believe what you're saying to yourself.
Yeah.
And if you're able to reframe it in a different way, it's going to have so much more better impact, especially if even the people around us. I know for a fact that like because of this business, I I'm able to regulate myself a little bit better. I feel like I'm a better wife, a better mom, a better friend because I'm able to really see things differently now and be able to show up powerfully.
Yeah.
And it is because of this business, because
Mhm.
80% of it is really mindset.
And we're learning to appreciate the now.
Yeah.
When before it was more like hustle, I got to figure out what the next day is. And it's just so stressful. And it kind of, this business has teach me calmness,
Yeah.
patience,
Yeah.
growth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Hey, sis, I just wanted to pause for just a second and just say, I appreciate you and I honor you. Seriously. The fact that you're tuning into this episode tells me a lot about you. It tells me that you're not just going through the motions of life, that you're seeking real change and you're wanting more. You're craving more, not just for yourself, but for your family. And that means the world to me. And I'd be extremely grateful if you are able to take this moment to like, subscribe, or leave a positive review. So that way it helps the show and it really helps other people as well. Now let's get back to the episode. So when did you do the full transformation from like working in healthcare to full-time business owner?
Yeah. So working in healthcare, about 2013, 14 is when it kind of like fully started with me. 'Cause, you know, you go to school and everything like that. And then finding this business in 2017, not doing it.
Yeah.
Finally, the very like in 2019. So technically it was like December of 2019 is when I joined. So
Yeah.
I think from that whole process of knowing I wanted to do something, so healthcare, and then yeah, I joined the business 2019. June of 2020, I was able to quit my 9 to 5
Wow.
full time.
Yeah.
And then in like October of 2020, I moved to Mexico with a few people that had met online for a month just because we're like, wow, we can do this. This is weird. Oh, I don't have to ask for time off. Like, that's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that was the whole transition part of it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And from somebody who's comes from like a healthcare background,
Yeah.
how it's kind of amazing how even this business of line of work still kind of goes with what you were passionate in the past,
Yeah.
but kind of still aligned to now. So now we're gonna do the juicy details about the products that we actually work with. So
Yes.
can you share some of your like healthcare background to like how this is have aligned with the line of business that you're in now?
Yeah. I think it's so funny because it's like those seeds, sorry, have been planted like literally along the way for me, and they're being planted for you too. But yeah, being in healthcare, seeing and working with people who are sick constantly. What do we do? Prescribe them medications, do
Yeah.
tests, chemo, just like, there's so many different things that we can go into with healthcare. But with the products that we do work with in our affiliate marketing business is medical grade water ionizers. This company has been around for 50 years. They are based out of Japan. Those machines are used in all of the Japanese hospitals as preventative medicine, and they're backed up by over 6,500 doctors.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if that doesn't say anything, I don't know what does. But I will say the difference is I don't think people are getting treated properly either.
Oh, yeah.
They're just getting thrown medication after medication. And just with our water ionizers, our alkalized
Wow.
water, it's going through an electrolysis process. So you know how they say it's like the best water for you is from a natural springs? Well, not a lot of us are near a natural springs
Yeah.
water. So that's when our business, this company, invented a medical grade technology. And I will say, from drinking it myself, God, I just feel more energized. I feel less bloated. And I can go into my story
Yeah,
too.
yeah. I was
like,
gonna say,
yeah,
like, because I noticed that I didn't notice. I remember you saying that you had medical issues like popping up
yeah,
as well. Like, yeah, definitely go
yeah.
into that.
And with me being in healthcare during this time, and then now it's just like, what? So I used to get migraines all the time. Migraines are very common in like everybody, but my migraines turned into every day, 7 days, like every single day, all day. Didn't stop. And then I started to have tingling and itching in my hands and feet and face.
Wow.
And so one day I just felt like this isn't right. So I go to the ER, they do all the tests, can't figure it out, sends me to a neurologist. And then they weren't too sure, but they did do a test and they did find like a lesion on the left side of my temporal lobe. So like a lesion, I guess it's like a term of a tumor, non-cancerous, just kind of there, but it was adding like a lot of pressure.
Wow.
So they're like, well, let's try this medication. It should help. Didn't help. Let's try another one. Didn't help.
Yeah.
I went through that 4 different times and I was like, I'm done. Like,
Yeah.
I'm done doing this. But this was also in 2018.
Wow.
So remember, I did see this business, but I just started to do my research.
Yeah.
And that's when eventually, it was like towards the end of 2018, when I started having all these issues. And I just kind of lived with it, honestly, because I'm like, I don't want to take this medicine. I'm just going to live with it. And then I did my research. I found this just all natural medical grade product. And I was just reading different stories about it, how it helps different people. And of course, we're not going to make medical claims because how it helps me is going to help somebody in a different way. But when I did find it, I was like, heck yeah. And then I was like ready to like purchase my product. And then I noticed it was the same as the business. So I was like, what? This is so wild. And I'm like, so I'm going to do both, both the business and get this water. So when I finally got my water machine, I drank the water for about a month and a half. And then I just really kind of randomly was like, whoa, it's all gone. Because I'm getting the proper nutrients and the antioxidants, anti-rich oxidants that are flowing through and flushing out all the toxins out of me. And I was like, whoa, this is wild. And it's just like, all you have to do is switch up the type of water you drink. Because there's so much water, like tap water goes through pipes, like all those gross pipes. And most of the time, bottled water is tap water.
Yeah. No, I know for a fact, like even in my own journey, I've recently found out that I was pre-diabetic. And one of the signs that I've should have known was that I always drank so much water. Like it was a common thing that my family was like, Claudia always drinks a lot of water. Because when I lived with my sister, they would buy cases of water and I would like finish them. But I just always felt thirsty.
Yeah.
And the moment I really did switch from regular water or regular like bottled water and switched it to Kangen water, I just don't feel thirsty anymore. And it's so liberating because my migraines are gone as well. I don't feel as bloated all the time from drinking so much water. You definitely save a lot of money. Yes, the price of the medical grade water is a little more on the pricier side, but it's like you can't put health to a price.
No.
And it saves an average. I think it's like an average of a family of 4, $2,000 a month
on like water bottles.
So that's the part where it's like you really gotta see the long run for things. So when you got into this business, you realize it's the same thing. I love how that like your stars are aligning so perfectly for that. When did you start seeing the actual benefits of the business?
Yeah, the business. And like I said, and I know I was able to at least, what's the word? At least make what I was making to feel comfortable enough to quit my job. But then again, I did quit a little sooner because I had a supportive partner. And he was like, Myrah, you're miserable, quit. And I'm like, okay, so it's cool to have that. But I would say really seeing the benefits, and I'm talking financially, freedom, a little stress-free, finding myself in the process of everything, I would say about a year and a half.
Yeah. No, and that's
Maybe
amazing.
2, but I'm like, it was like 2 years to make more than I did in a month in one day.
Yeah.
Like that's insane.
No, it's insane. This compensation plan there's literally nothing like it because it is actually a patent compensation plan. So where Myrah used to have to make 100 sales to make that 5,000, we literally make it in 1 to 2 sales. And what's amazing about the compensation plan too, what really got me was the generational wealth. So a lot of the times people are so scared of entrepreneurship because they're like, what about my benefits, my retirement, my pension, all of that stuff. But so many people in the community, like I could think of like a good handful of people, they actually look into it and they will only get a fraction of what they actually deserve. I remember Christy, she was on the podcast as well. She worked in corporate for 22 years. She looked at her retirement or her pension and she was only going to get like $780 after working for them for 22 years. And she was making good money.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah. And then I think that was like one of the things I was so skeptical about like starting a business because I was like, okay, what about my retirement plan? But what's beautiful about the compensation plan here is there is lifetime money.
Yes.
So all the hard work that we put into it, after a certain amount of sales and a certain amount of ranking, you get literally residual money. And as a mother, for me, when I saw that could be passed down to my children, I was like, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer to put all my time and effort into something that is actually going to be sustainable, not from myself and my mental health, but something that I can actually pass down to my children.
Exactly. And let me tell you guys, making 100 sales to maybe make like 5,000, you only need 100 sales to be over six figures in this business.
Yes, exactly.
Think about it that way. Like, that is insane.
And I didn't even think about that, to be completely honest. Because, a lot of other people, like, you have to make 100 sales to make a decent income. But for our compensation plan, it really is 100 sales to make that six-figure income.
Six-figure. And then beyond, like you said, there's that that generational wealth that you can be brought down to children, anything like that. And this business has been around, and it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Because it is just beginning. Even though this company has been around a lot, and it is based out of Japan, or for a while, and it is based out of Japan, it's been in the U.S. for, half that time. 25 years, I think, give or take. And it's just beginning. Like, people are still learning about it, and they're now realizing. So I'm just like, it's not good.
Yeah. And something that I've been recently saying in my content is, like, if you're looking out there for a business, you have to be asking, is it sustainable? Because there's so many businesses out there that are not. And so the fact that this company has been around for 50 years shows it can be tested at the times of being recession proof. It's tested that it can be actually sustainable because it's lasted this long, and it solves a problem that this whole world needs. We need healthy water, and we need water that actually could be, like you said, like access to us in, what is it, like the spring water that you mentioned?
Natural springs. Yeah, like a natural springs water. And then now you can have it in your home.
Yeah. And something that I kind of see online that I actually just thought about it right now is people see reverse osmosis, and then they see our product. So do you have any like background on like how to distinguish the both of them?
Yeah, and I know a lot of reverse osmosis or other machines out there. So the thing that sets our machine apart from any other water or anything is ours is tested and gold sealed from the Water Quality Association. You don't see that anywhere. And not only is our filter certified, our entire machine is certified, when other companies, whether that's reverse osmosis companies or other water ionizer companies, it's just their filter that's certified. But our entire machine is certified, and it's individually inspected. And we have 8 titanium dipped platinum plates in our machine. Think about the titanium and the platinum, the titanium especially. So I kind of explained it this way. If anybody has ever been in a major accident, that titanium plate, that goes in a human body. So can you imagine what it's doing with this machine? I mean, that's powerful in itself. So I do know that, and nobody else has a 2.5 setting in their machine. So the scale ranges 0 to 14 in a pH scale. So we have a lot of pH in our water, and it has over 68 plus usages that you can replace and save money at the same time.
Yeah. And that's really cool because the 2.5 is like good for like sterilization. And then 11.5 is like, what I understand, it's like a degreaser. So it helps really remove the oils and the pesticides from our fruits and vegetables. And I think this is just so important because if we want to think like the top 1%, they care about their health.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
They do.
So even having access to a medical grade product like this is going to really enhance a lot of people's life because it really helps eliminate a lot of inflammatory properties into the body, right?
Yeah. Yes, it flushes out all those toxins, and we talk about like a oxidation reduction potential, and that's like it tests electricity in the water, and we always think positive is good, negative is bad, so we're going to flop them with water. And so if you have a negative charge, that's good. That is slowing down the aging and sickness process throughout the body. But if you have a positive charge within water, that's actually increasing the aging and sickness within the body, which then is fighting against those red blood cells and is causing more diseases. It's causing you to, just slow down and get more sick, or maybe even, like, I hate to say it, but maybe either people are slowing down sooner than what they realize, and it's leading to a cause of death more
Yeah.
than what it should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it makes completely sense.
Yeah.
Again, Myra said we can't make medical claims,
No.
but a lot of people who have had this machine, which is such a beautiful part to be a part of because we're part of this company. It helps people with Crohn's disease, Alzheimer's. It has helped people with cancer reduce some of those symptoms that are going through chemotherapy, diabetes, like myself,
Skin,
skin.
eczema,
Yeah.
rashes. Yeah, just anything on that line.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Skincare. We can
Yeah.
go on and on.
Yeah. IBS, bloating, a lot of things that we don't realize that are going on into our bodies until it's too late. So going back a little bit to what you mentioned about the business, it's like if someone was out there wanting some more advice and they're maybe scared, they're on the fence, they're kind of waiting, similar where you were in that position, what would you recommend to them to really help them see a more beneficial life for them?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely don't be me. And because, I like to tell people who are a little like on the fence a little bit, like, have you been thinking about taking a change, or have you been thinking about making a change in your life already? Half the time it's a yes. And if you're already thinking about it, do it. Because if you don't, you will waste time and you'll still be in the same exact spot to where you are now.
Yeah.
Health and wealth wise.
Yeah.
If it's more like a healthy thing, do it now. You're going to save thousands and thousands of dollars as the years go on. And not to mention, you're going to feel so much better.
Yeah.
And then financially wise, you are going to see a huge shift, especially if you are open minded, willing to learn, and coachable
Yeah. That's huge.
as well.
Yeah. And she hit it on the nail because in reality, if nothing changes, it's because you're choosing to be stuck in that scenario. So I think what's really important to help you get to the next level of any aspect of your life is how is the person or that version of me who is seeing the life that I want to see, seeing the success that I want to see, what are they thinking like? Like, what do they make decisions fast or are they a little more hesitant? How are they behaving? Are they showing up confident? Are they willing to put in the work? Or are they making excuses and procrastinating? And if you find yourself to be in one side, you know exactly what it takes to be on this other side, but you have to have that hunger for change to actually make it happen for yourself. Well, thank you so much, Myrah, for being on the podcast. And where can people find you that want to, learn more about the products? Because she's really good about the product marketing, about everything. But where can people find you?
Yeah, definitely. If you want to learn more, or just hang out with me, see what's going on with my life, especially with us in Bali.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. Content coming. You can just find me on Instagram. That is my main platform right now. I do have Twitter, Facebook, but I mainly use Instagram. That's at MyrahBeth, MYRAHBETH. You can find me there and come hang out with us.
Yeah.
Learn more. Reach out to us. Yeah.
All right. Awesome. And if you found this podcast episode very insightful, if you found this podcast very insightful and you want to leave a little review, I would greatly appreciate that. Make sure to share this with a friend who you believe that would be really beneficial for either health or even business-wise. Maybe somebody wanting to escape their 9-to-5, maybe wanting to escape a toxic relationship. Maybe they just want a supported community. You know where to find us. Well, you can find me at Claudia Conquers Life from all my platforms, social media of Instagram, TikTok, and on YouTube. And if you want to learn more about this actual business model, then definitely check out www.claudiaconquers.com. So that way you can really get the whole information about this high-ticket affiliate marketing business and see if it can help you provide a freedom lifestyle like what we're doing right now. So see you next time. Make sure you stay unstoppable and I'll talk to you guys soon.
Yes. Bye, guys.